Hello everyone, my name is Besim Ogelman. I am industrial psychologist and human resources specialist. Today we'll be doing a practical exercise related to our topic, support social initiatives through participants in food recovery and redistribution activities. Today we will examine the topic of support social initiatives through participants in food recovery and redistribution activities from social, humanitarian, and economic perspectives and conduct a case study. We will look at the subject not only from a technical but also from a social standpoint. First, I'll give you some information about our topic, technical information. Then we'll do a simple exercise showing what we can do even with a simple Excel spreadsheet. Finally, we'll work on how we can turn the data we obtain from the Excel spreadsheet into business opportunities. Our aim here is not only to participate in food rescue and redistribution activities, but also to demonstrate the significant material impact you can have through these activities. Our learning objective is first, technical decision making. Distinguish safe to donate food from waste by applying food safety protocols and etc. Digital operation management. Effectively utilize Excel-based digital tools and automation formulas. Legal documentation. Generate digital legal documents such as the e-bill, electronic bill of lading, to ensure transparency and traceability in food banking and donation process. Impact measurement. This is very important. Quantify the environmental, preventing carbon dioxide emission and social impacts, and etc. Process analysis. Analyze the operational standards of social initiatives to identify and rescue the risk and other and etc. Okay, let's begin. We are gathered here today not just for technical training, but to generate solution for one of the greatest contradictions of our modern world. On the hand, millions fight against the hunger threshold. On the other, massive amounts of food are wasted before even reaching the table. Inefficiencies in the food supply chain are no longer just cost items on a balance sheet. They represent an ethical crisis that warrants the consequence of humanity and a massive environmental catastrophe depleting our planet's resources. The food recovery, redistribution, and donation systems model aims to build a strategic bridge to eliminate this dark picture. This bridge integrates circular economy principles on one side and direct social benefit on the other. Preventing food waste is not just about reducing garbage. It's about honoring the water, labor, and energy spent in producing that food. We approach food recovery not merely as a technical operation, but as a profound social innovation movement. Within this process, our most critical stakeholders, social enterprises, are not passive recipients waiting for donations. They are strategic logistic and data centers solving the paradox of hunger and waste through sustainable business models. Our success depends on our ability to transfer competence rather than just products to this ecosystem. From a technical perspective, implementing standard operating procedures (SOPs) eliminates food safety risks. Digital traceability and data management reinforce donor trust by ensuring transparency. When we share our logistic optimization expertise, we enable food to win its race against time and minimize its carbon footprint. Successful models like TIDA in Turkey, which offer choice through social supermarkets, protect individual dignity while transforming the system into a valuable data source. These networks function as an unshakable safety net for the most vulnerable segments of society during crisis. From a corporation standpoint, this process serves as a volunteering platform that enhances employee engagement and motivation. A single pallet of food rescue through the technical analysis of a logistic employee elevates that employee's motivation to the highest level. In conclusion, every approved action you take via Excel in our green logistics scenario, we will see it, represents a safe input for a social enterprise inventory. Your technical accuracy is a concrete step towards social justice. Together, we are shifting the fight against food waste from traditional charity into a professional and scalable movement for social change. Remember, every piece of wood saved from the bin is social capital left for the future. Food recovery is not a random process. It's a disciplined hierarchy based on scientific data and international standards. In the food waste hierarchy pyramid, agreed upon by the authorities like the FAO and REFIT, the most vital step after reduction at the source is redistribution for human consumption. This is the final stop where food retains in its true value. If we miss this stage, food either becomes animal feed or is used in energy production, which signifies a loss of nutritional value. However, this redistribution process is much more complex than moving food from one warehouse to another. Like a synthesis of a logistic optimization, food safety protocols, HACCP, we will see it next chapters, and rigorous legal compliance. For food to be donatable, being surplus is not enough. It must also be biologically and chemically flawless. In the context of Turkey, food banking legislation provides us with a very strong foundation. Current regulation in Turkey allow business to report food donations as expenses based on their cost value, incentivizing both social responsibility and economic sustainability. Through this training, we will detail how to transform this legal infrastructure into an operational advantage and how to win the trust of corporate donors. The success of social initiative is measured by how accurately they apply this legal and technical framework. There is no room for error in food recovery. We have two primary safety valves to ensure safety: cold chain management and shelf life analysis. Technically, for animal-based and sensitive foods, we have a critical limit of 4.5 degrees Celsius. Every decimal increase above this limit is a celebration for microorganism and pathogen. A pallet of chicken or a dairy products exceeding 4.5 degrees is no longer an aid tool. It is a public health risk. There is no room for sentimentality here. Technical data must dictate the decision. The same rigor applies to explanation date (ED) analysis. Keeping a legally expired product within the system jeopardies from corporate reputation and legal safety. So, how rational is to manage such a sensitive process with manual methods like paper and pen? This is exactly where digitalization comes in. Traditional methods are slow and prone to human error. The Excel-based smart decision support system and automated algorithm we will use can scan thousands of data points in seconds to provide an approved or rejected decision. Sorry. Digitalization is not just a convenience in food recovery. It's the absolute guarantee of safety. As you will see in our practical exercise, the accuracy of a formula is directly related to a family's access to healthy food. Managing data is recovering food. In the final stage of our training, we will see how these technical processes meet social consequence and transparency. The greatest capital of a social initiative is trust. A donor wants to know where their product went, how it was utilized, and how much benefit it provided. This is where the electronic bill of lading (e-bill) comes into play. These digitally generated documents track every kilogram of food, increasing transparency and making the process auditable. The exercise we will perform in our green logistic scenario will allow you to personally experience the power of transforming data into action. We will not just approve food, we will also calculate how that decision changes the world. Scientific metrics tell us that every 1 kilogram of food recovered prevents an average of 2.5 kilograms of carbon dioxide emission from entering the atmosphere. At the same time, this 1 kilogram of food yields approximately 2 full meals. These figures not just statistics, they are our tangible success. Reducing the carbon footprint, protecting water resources, and fighting hunger starts with that single approved decision you make at your computer. Through this practical work, you will learn to select safe food from complex data sets and measure the social and environmental impact of that choice. Now it's time to arm ourselves with digital tools to bring this vision to life. In this slide and in our examples, we examine how the technical data of X kilograms of certified food in our Excel spreadsheet is transformed into a living social benefit. Remember, every 1 kilogram of food yields approximately 2 full meals. Remember again, food recovery is not just about saving food. It's about delivering into the right place. Our first step is need analysis. We must select the most suitable partner based on the type of food we have. If our produce are perishable like fresh milk or meat, our destination should be in initiative A, the soap kitchen. If we have packaged biscuits or pulses, we should opt for social supermarkets like initiative B. A mismatch can lead to the waste of even the safe food. The second and most impactful point is active participation. As a company, are we just providing a product or are we becoming part of the solution? Offering our logistic networks, involving our employees as volunteers, or providing technical training to the social initiative staffs transform our donation from passive and into active social responsibility. Finally, we must report this process transparently when we define our success not just in kilograms base as meals served or basic needs met. We add true value to the social entrepreneurship ecosystem in Turkey and so on. Practical decision and Excel spreadsheet explanation. Food waste is massive global challenge impacting both our environment and our communities. We developed these food recovery tools to provide a smart, practical solution to this problem. Our goal is simple: to empower future food donation operations managers to quickly, safely, and legally divert edible food from the landfill. This tool transforms complex logistics into clear, actionable steps, ensuring every kilogram of recovered food creates measurable social and environmental value. And here's why this matters. Food production alone accounts for over a quarter of global greenhouse gas emissions. So let's dive into the operational heart of the tool, starting with the critical first step. The operational flow begins with inbound check sheet in the Excel book, which is the critical quality of control gate for all incoming donation. We can't compromise on food safety, so the system we can't compromise on the food safety, so the system automatically enforces two non-negotiable rules. First, temperature control. If meat or dairy products exceeded 4.5 degrees Celsius, this system rejects the pallet immediately due to the cold chain failure. Second, date validation. Any product past its expiry date is also instantly rejected. This automated decision matrix removes human error and ensures that only safe, high-quality food moves forward in the recovery process. Now that we secure the quality, we need to secure the legality of the donation. Once the product is approved, we move to the e-ball generator to create unnecessary legal documentation. This step automatically pulls the total weight of all approved items from the previous quality check. The electronic bill of lading, or e-bill, is the official record on the transaction between the donor and the food bank. This document is vital because it provides transparency and ensures legal compliance for the entire donation. It firmly registers the exact amount of food recovered, turning operational data into a verifiable legal output. This total approved weight is the key metric that drives our impact calculation. The impact dashboard, the third page of Excel book, is where we visualize the real-world value of our operational success. Every kilogram of food we recover has a dual benefit, social and environmental. For the environmental impact, we calculate the carbon dioxide prevented using the industry standard that every kilogram saved avoids 2.5 kilograms of carbon emission. For the social impact, we translate that every kilogram saved avoids 2.5 kilograms of carbon emission. For the social impact, we translate that recovered weight into tangible meals for the community. This dashboard shows our users that their careful operational decisions have a direct, measurable effect on the global sustainability goals. It connects the logistic to the mission. So, what does this mean for the future of food recovery? This tool provides students with practical, data-driven experience in food safety, logistics, and sustainability. They learn to make decisions, and immediately you, as a student, see the consequences, which is invaluable training for future managers. Looking ahead, we see several ways to scale this impact. We plan to integrate operational cost and saving analysis to show the economic benefit of recovery. We also want to develop more advanced decision rules for dynamic food categories. Ultimately, our vision is to transform this into a web-based interface for real-time data tracking. Remember, every decision matters in the mission to reduce food waste, and this tool is your starting point for making the right ones.
Welcome, my friends, again. Now we are in our examples page. Our Excel book, it's on the screen as you see. First page is inbound check, quality control and decision matrix sheet. The inbound check sheets serve as the very heart of the operation and the most unwavering guardian of food safety. This formula used here, as you see, if, or, and, etc., and then rejected or approved, provides a decision-making mechanism entirely based on technical criteria, free from subjectivity. If a product is not the dry food category and its temperature exceeds the 4.5 degrees Celsius thresholds, or its expiration date is prior to today's date, the system produces an uncompromising rejection. This sheet tells us that through a digital audit mechanism, we minimize human error and guarantee that only healthy and safe food is incorporated into the system. The discipline is the most fundamental element protecting the reputation of social initiatives and public health. But don't think you are the only one person. Think 10, 20, or 30% in firm, and everybody can write information in this sheet. For example, we have a cheese category dairy. Kilogram is 26 and neat temperature is 4. expiry date is Valentine Days, and today date is, then system rejected this cheese. Another example, we have yogurt. Category dairy. Kilogram is, we have 30 kilogram, temperature 4. Expiry date is 18 of February. Today date is 16 of February and is approved, as you see. Another example, you have meat, yes, and 10 kilograms. Temperature is 10, for example. Oops, it's rejected because cold chain breach is 4.5 Celsius degrees down, so it's rejected. Another example, one more example. Meat, dairy, 15 kilogram, temperature is 4, ready for donation, as you see. Expiry date 20 February. Today's date 16 February. It's approved. So we have some food to make approved, to can approved. I'm going to change this one also. Just a minute. Yes. And rejected expired item. I'm going to change. Okay. Wait here. Now we are going to second sheet. The e-ball generator sheet represents the stage where technical data acquires a legal and operational identity. The sum in formula here, the function automatically filters and aggregates the weights of steel products that receive approval in the previous step. This step. This calculates this step's data. This mathematical equation forms the basis of the electronic bill of lading e-ball, symbolizing the transparency and traceability of the donation process. The most critical point to understand here is that using such automation instead of manual data entry ensures an error-free and rapid documentation process that solidifies the trust relationship between the donor and the recipient. This is the key to an auditable system compliant with food banking legislation in Turkey. Up to this point, we have filtered data through our digital tool, conducted technical analysis, and identified safe foods that passed the food safety screening. However, the recovery process doesn't end when a cell in an Excel sheet turns green, as here. On the contrary, the real social transformation begins after this point. The social initiative matching and participation task we are about to undertake is the phase of transforming technical data into a social value proposition. In the first step of our application, we need to understand the nature of 145 kilograms of accrued food we have. In food recovery or change, you can change here, then it's going to change, as you see. If you have fresh milk or animal proteins that need to be consumed quickly, you should direct them not to be an institution that performs long-term packaging, but to soap kitchen that can transform that food into a hot meal that every day. This is the foundation of the process we call need analysis. A mismatch can cause food, even if safe, to exceed the capacity of the social initiative and go to the waste. Therefore, we must achieve a perfect harmony between the logistical requirements of the food and distribution speed of the social initiative. The second and most critical stage is determining our active participation model. Simply having a track drop of products of the door is passive support and has limited sustainability. How can we, as professionals, add value to this process? Should we protect the cold chain by opening our logistic network, strengthen social belonging by involving our employees as volunteers, or increase the operational quality of the social initiative by providing technical training to their staff? These choices elevate a company from being just a donor to become a strategic stakeholder in the struggle for food justice in Turkey. Ultimately, through this practical work, we expect each of you to become an impact architect. The report, Not Your Right, will not just consist of numbers. It will represent a concrete human success story, such as meeting a child's need for milk or a warm meal reaching a family's dinner table. This new generation food management vision, where we combine data with conscience and technology with solidarity, is the brightest example of sustainable development. Now, let's write the story of these kilograms together. Just a minute, please. Our third sheet is Impact Dashboard. The Impact Dashboard sheet is a vision board that presents the tangible contribution of all these technical efforts to the world through quantitative data. Simple but powerful multipliers in Excel, such as weight, half, 2.5 and weight, to calculate how many kilograms of carbon emission were prevented and how many people were provided with full meals for every kilograms of food recovered. Through this dashboard, we clearly see that a logistical activity is not merely a product transportation tax. On the contrary, it creates a massive social impact serving both environmental sustainability and the fight against hunger. This sheet proves to us that every data point actually touches a human life and the future of the planet, providing a forward-looking perspective to our work. Let's make another example. you can find a lot of examples in practical content document. For example, here, just a minute. Yes. Yogurt, pack strawberry. Okay. I'm going to copy this here. Berry. Weight 120. Weight 120. Temperature 2.8. And today date. Okay, upload. Able generator is change. Impact dashboard also change. Another chicken things. Meat. Also dairy. 85. Whoops. 7.2. Look here, the column of I. It's right, ready for donation, but oops, cold chain breach. It's automatically rejected, as you see. One more example. Canned tomatoes. Try 300 kilograms. Degree is 20 degree. Look here, ready for donation. Okay. They did this. Just a minute. Oops, it's rejected, as you see. You can find different examples in this practical content documents. Yes. And I have a question for you. Chicken breast and chicken thing, tights. What was the system decision? Rejected. Okay. Why? Because cold chain rule don't approve it. If you have had mentioned approved this cells, this checking the temperature, what could have been the consequence for the food bank beneficiaries? And another example and another question. Think like that. What is the problem is here? What is the problem? It's not just being rejected. There is problem here. I'm gonna looking at other examples. Okay. As you can see, you can accomplish extraordinary things with a simple Excel spreadsheet. With team members who can input data into this table, it can be used much more effectively and intensively. Reports can also be generated from this table. Furthermore, the data in this table can be shared with stakeholders. This way, those in need can be immediately informed and take appropriate action and made requests. This data also in this table will also serve as a source of inspiration and data for your business ideas aimed at creating social impact. Yes. In conclusion, small changes and efforts yield big results. The significance of the impact becomes clearer when you consider that a 1 kilogram change represents is a menu for 2 people. Dear participants, the small changes and efforts you have made and will make create a snowball effect. Thank you for listening.